Hello and welcome to Web Design and Development course using HTML5 and CSS3. This is an introduction to HTML5 and CSS3. Here you'll see the source and reference for this video. I hope you'll be able to follow along this web design course. The prerequisites for this course are the following: Sublime Text Editor and a web browser. As you watch this video, please bear in mind about our ESLRs. And these are right thought, right communication, right attitude, right conduct, and right lifestyle. Now let's move on to our lesson. Section 6, CSS Layouts. Lesson 6.3, Positioning Elements with CSS. In HTML, elements like paragraphs, images, etc. are stacked one on top of the other, rather like boxes in a warehouse. The image is taken from a browser and shows 3 paragraphs stacked one on top of the other. You can move your elements around the page, however, with something called CSS positioning. The default behavior is said to be in a static position, like the paragraphs in the image. In other words, they don't move. But you can move elements out of the normal static flow seen in the image. The first method we'll look at is called relative positioning. The effect is done using the CSS instruction position relative, as you can see in the image. You then use the properties top, bottom, left, and right. You can use all 4 at once or just 1, 2, or 3 of them. Another way to position elements on the page is with absolute positioning. You can use position absolute to place elements anywhere on the page. Absolute positioning removes an element out of the normal static flow. Other elements will move up to fill its place. The element you have just removed from the normal flow is now like a freestanding element. The borders of the removed element shrink to fit the contents. If you want more space, you have to specify it with width and height properties. Items that are given an absolute position are placed in relation to their parent element. If no parent element exists, then the default is the HTML tag. To illustrate what this means, let's take a look at the image here. Fixed position. The final CSS position is position fixed. This is similar to position absolute in that you use it when you want to take an element out of the normal static flow. For example, you could have a sidebar on the left of your page using position fixed. The difference is that the position properties, top, bottom, left, and right, take the top left of the browser window as their default starting position. Also, when you scroll down the page, the fixed element, the sidebar for example, will stay in place. So if you have fixed sidebar in the top left of your page, it will stay there when the user scrolls to the bottom of your page. The z-index. When you use the position properties, you also have access to something called the z-index. This is just the stacking order for elements. So you could have images stacked one on top of the other, each one offset a few pixels. Here are our rectangle images with a z-index set. The pink one is on top while the blue one is behind it, and offset using the top and left properties. The default z-index is called auto and has a value of 0. If you want to position something behind an element, you can use a negative number. If you want to position something in front of other element, you can use a positive number. If you only have two elements, you can just use 0 and -1. In fact, you can miss out the z-index. 0 altogether, as this will be the default position. For a complete list of codes and classwork in this lesson, please check Google Classroom. Thank you.